Hello, this is D, and I'm back with another video. Now, I've been off YouTube for, I don't know, maybe 2 or so weeks, and in the summertime, I tend to go outside. I'm doing some reviews on really fast e-bikes and e-scooters. They should be coming up on the channel in the next week or so, and I've just been away from social media a little bit. Now, I've seen a lot of news that has come across my timeline, and to be honest with you guys, I was just about to go out and do a ride, and I said, you know what, there is so much new gaming information out there, and I know gamers, they just want to talk about some of these things and they want to know my opinion on it, and I think that some of these stories are pretty big. Now today we're going to talk about the Cyberpunk 2077 update 2.3 for the PlayStation 5 Pro and the improvements that you get. We're also going to talk about Grand Theft Auto 6 getting a 60 FPS mode on the PlayStation 5 Pro. Now, I've spoken on this before and I can't wait to talk about this information with you guys. And we're also going to talk about the PlayStation, or is it the next Xbox, AMD Zen 6 Magnus APU that has leaked. So first, I think we're going to start talking about this update that the PlayStation 5 Pro got for Cyberpunk 2077. Now, a lot of people, and I kind of clown them for this, they think that the PlayStation 5 Pro is not a huge improvement over the Xbox Series X because the CPU isn't that much better. Now, overall, the PlayStation 5 Pro is giving you higher fidelity in the games, it's giving you a higher frame rate in a lot of games, as well as giving you better ray tracing, better machine learning AI, because PSSR obviously is better than FSR 3. Now, with that being said, a lot of people, they still don't see the value of getting a PlayStation 5 Pro over an Xbox Series X. Now, I gotta be honest with you guys, if I had to choose one of the consoles, I would be choosing the PlayStation 5 because it has more exclusives. The Xbox exclusives go to the PlayStation 5. You have the option of a PlayStation 5 or a PlayStation 5 Pro. You have PSVR. You have a host of options on that platform. Or I would just flat out get a PC. Now, if you're choosing between both consoles and you still think that the PlayStation 5 Pro is not an improvement over the Xbox Series X, I don't know what to say to you guys. But today, Cyberpunk got a pretty big update. And as you guys can see on the screen, it is substantial. Now, in the performance mode, we're getting anywhere from 65 FPS up to 80 FPS. Now, I've seen some instances where it goes above 80 FPS, but on average, it's anywhere between like 65 and like, the high 70s in the frame rate, which is a huge improvement over the Xbox version. Now, if we look over here, let me just click the tab here, and we look at the Xbox version here with performance mode, VRR turned on, so it's unlocked frame rate. You're getting like 59, 60 FPS. It's kind of, staying at that level there. On the PlayStation 5 Pro, you can see that it's stretching its legs at 77, some drops to 73, 75, touching 80, a much higher frame rate than what we're getting on the Xbox Series X. Now, a lot of people say, well, how is this possible? Because they both have the same CPU. Now, the CPU that is in the PlayStation 5, first of all, the way that their boost algorithm works over there, it's different than the Xbox Series X. It's dynamic. Also, you have a 10 to 12% increase in performance on that CPU because it is clocked higher. Now, you're going to have less restraints because the GPU is better in there. And let's just be honest, that these developers are going to do more optimization on the PlayStation version, and they're squeaking out more performance. And as you can see here, the Xbox, it's not going over 60. I'm going to assume that it also has an unlocked frame rate mode with the latest update. If it doesn't, you guys can let me know in the description down below. But assuming that it does, we are seeing that the PlayStation 5 Pro performance is substantially higher than that of the Xbox Series X's performance mode, and we already know that it's running at a higher resolution on top of it. So if any of you were in doubt if the PlayStation 5 Pro is a better investment than the Xbox Series X, look no further than this test right here, because it's providing you the evidence that you can use your own eyes to see that the Xbox Series X version is just not performing as good as the PlayStation 5 Pro. Now, that brings me to the next story. Now, for quite some time, I've said it on different podcasts, I've said it in my videos, that I believe Grand Theft Auto 6 could hit 60 FPS on the PlayStation 5 Pro, and at the very worst, that it would have an unlocked mode that would allow you to achieve very close to 60 FPS. Now, a lot of people, once again, they're saying, well, the PlayStation 5, it doesn't have a much better GPU or CPU than the regular consoles. And once again, it is clocked higher, so you're getting about 10 to 12% better performance. I'm going to assume that this rumor here that I'm going to read from Detective Seeds is correct, and that PlayStation is partnering with Rockstar, and that they're going to be doing heavy optimization for the PlayStation 5 Pro. To be honest with you guys, it makes complete sense, because if they were able to ensure that a 60 FPS mode would be available on the PlayStation 5 Pro, a lot of people would flock to that console. A lot of people would buy that game. Now, it's not coming out on PC day and date. I believe it's going to come a year to 2 years later on the PC. So even PC guys are going to be enticed to get a PlayStation to get this game. And if you can get very high quality graphics at 60 FPS, I truly believe that Grand Theft Auto 6 would be a system killer. It would be a system seller, and a lot of people would buy that console. Now, this is coming from Detective Seeds, and he goes on to say that GTA 6 has been and continues to hit 60 FPS while being optimized for the PlayStation 5 Pro on multiple graphical settings. PlayStation engineers are assisting the optimization due to the new tech being implemented and rolled out with a current target date of May 2026. They are also assisting on several other Rockstar titles and are rolling out in the near future pre-PlayStation 5 Pro 2026 update. As of right now, the 60 FPS is being achieved on the PlayStation 5 Pro only, and this could obviously change before release. It is anticipated that Grand Theft Auto 6 will have multiple graphical options on the PlayStation 5 Pro on release. Also, Rockstar PlayStation marketing team deal is what's allowing and encouraging the collaboration and optimization. Should see several GTA 6 PS bundles in the next marketing push. This info is from a PlayStation engineer who has provided highly accurate and verified info several times in the past. Now, like everything, we have to take it with a grain of salt, but I will say that it makes complete sense for Sony and Rockstar to partner up to get a 60 FPS mode on their latest console, the PlayStation 5 Pro. That would sell it like crazy. It would also sell the game. Now, I believe the game is going to sell regardless. It's going to sell on the PlayStation. It's going to sell on the Xbox Series X as well, and of course the Series S. But I do believe having a mode on there such as 60 FPS that is, unwavering, it's just locked there at 60 FPS, I think that would be a huge selling point for the PlayStation 5 Pro. Now, we're going to have to just wait and see. Unfortunately, the game was delayed. It's not coming out till next year in May. So I guess leading up to the release of the game, we're going to get more information. But I will say, although this is not confirmed, and this is not confirmed from my sources either, I always just did an educated guess, believing that it would run at 60 FPS. I wasn't specifically told that. But seeing all the information and just knowing the way that the architecture works and what's available to developers on the PlayStation 5 Pro, I truly believe that they can achieve 60 FPS in this game. Now, let's not forget that, and I know I didn't talk about this in videos because I've just kind of been away from YouTube a little bit, so just bear with me. It's going to be a longer video today, but the PlayStation 5 Pro is going to get a 2026 update that's going to allow FSR 4 to be on that console. We also know that FSR 4 is going to be getting Redstone, which is its frame generation update. So if the PlayStation 5 Pro is getting the full iteration of FSR 4, it's also going to get the frame generation as well. And that could also bring it to 60 on the PlayStation 5 Pro. Now, I just got to be honest, when you're bottlenecked, frame gen doesn't completely alleviate the problems. However, with the partnership with Rockstar and with deep collaboration and optimization of the PlayStation 5 Pro, I can honestly say I see GTA 6 running at 60 FPS on the PlayStation 5 Pro. So we're going to have to find that out. And hopefully, as we get closer to the launch date of GTA 6, we're going to get more information on this. And hopefully, we're going to get some more leaks. Now, the final leak that I'm talking about today is the PlayStation 6 or is it the next Xbox APU? Now, this was leaked. Now, this is coming from WCCF Tech, and like usual, I'll leave a link in the description down below so you guys can check it out for yourself. And in the article, they go on to say the PlayStation 6 or next generation Xbox APU may have been revealed alongside the first details on the CPU core configuration and memory bus. In a new video shared from YouTuber Moore's Law is Dead, revealed the existence of an AMD Zen 6 APU called Magnus, featuring a massive 264mm squared graphics die with a 384-bit memory bus, which is a wider bus than any current generation system, wider than the 320-bit bus on the Xbox Series X, connected to the bridge die of 144mm squared sock die. Now, this big square design isn't the only interesting thing about the Magnus APU, as the 11 CPU core configuration featuring 3 Zen 6 and 8 Zen 6 C cores is equally unusual. Now, I gotta talk about that core there. It's very strange, but once again, these consoles, they are custom designs and they use what's available to them in the pipeline. I don't know, maybe this configuration is due to cost cutting. I'm not quite sure, but I'm just reading what this report is saying, and they're saying that initially the configuration made sense for it. Moore's Law's Dead thought the new AMD APU looked like a focused mid-range gaming laptop APU in the documents. However, the Magnus APU was not listed for clients like the other yet to be released Medusa point APUs, nor for the servers. It was listed as a semi-custom business unit, which is the units where APUs for consoles are. Now, looking to other similar codenames in the same unit, the leaker found Miro, which powers the Steam Deck, and Jupiter, which also is rumored to be the APU for the PlayStation handheld. As such, the naming convention, the square design, which looks remarkably similar to the other Mark Cerny designs, and the known specs with the unusual CPU core configurations, with no low power cores that would work well for running games at 120 Hz, suggests that this could be the PlayStation 6 APU. Now, they also go down here and say the Magnus name kind of doesn't go with the naming scheme that Sony does for their APUs before they actually launch it, so when they're in development. Now, that's neither here nor there, and to be honest with you, it's kind of inconclusive on which console it is. Now, I will say this, and I've heard this from more than one source, and I've heard this from a very credible source that I trust. And I am hearing that the next Xbox is going to be powerful. So if you're hearing any reports out there that next Xbox is not going to truly be a generational leap, those are incorrect. It's going to have a lot of performance. And I'm also hearing that it's going to be very expensive. So I've always thought that the next generation consoles are going to be between $800 and $1,000, and I'm hearing that the next Xbox console could be more closer to the tier of a $1,000 console. Now, if it performs well for the price point and you're getting, great performance, I can see a lot of gamers grabbing it. Once again, I don't want to get into all of the issues with their exclusives and their exclusives being on other platforms and why it makes that console less desirable. I just want to get into the power of the system. It does look like it's going to be a very powerful system. Now, we're also hearing that the PlayStation 6 is going to be very powerful, and apparently that chip is going to tap out at the end of the year. So this very well could be the PlayStation 6 APU, seeing how it's set to tap out at the end of the year. Now, I'm hearing that the next generation Xbox is coming next year. I've said this so many times, and now we're hearing reports that it could be a third-party Xbox. And I just kind of find it funny that I've been saying this stuff for a long time, that Grand Theft Auto 6, that it could run at 60 FPS on the PlayStation 5 Pro. Now reports are coming out about it. I said that the Xbox, the next generation console, will come out in 2026. Everybody said that I was a liar. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm making it up. Now we're seeing reports of a next generation console coming in 2026. Like, it's just unbelievable. I say all these things and I get zero credit and zero respect. And I'm just saying, put some respect on my name. Now, I will be completely transparent here. I'm not quite sure if this next generation Xbox that is coming out next year is going to be the one that is made by Xbox, or if it's going to be a third-party Xbox. So it quite possibly could be a third-party Xbox. I just know one is coming next year. Now, we all know the details pretty much. It's going to be a PC that's going to have an Xbox OS. It's going to have like an Xbox UI, but it's going to essentially be a PC. You're going to be able to play your other storefront games on PC like Steam, like the Ubisoft store, and it's also going to have a chip inside of it that allows you to play your backwards compatible games. Now that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing it's not going to be cheap. It's going to be pricey. Whether or not it sells, we'll get into that in another video. Today, I just want to report on the hardware details that I know and this leak of this new Magnus APU. Now, you guys let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you think this Magnus APU is a PlayStation 6, or do you think it's the next generation Xbox system? What are your thoughts on Grand Theft Auto 6 running at 60 FPS on the PlayStation 5 Pro? Do you think it has the potential to run even higher than 60 FPS? And what do you think the base consoles will run it at? Do you think they'll have an unlocked mode? Personally, I think the base consoles will have an unlocked mode, and I think they'll probably run at about 40 FPS, and I think that the PlayStation 5 Pro version will run at 60 FPS. Now, if you don't believe that is possible, you can look back at this video and look at the PlayStation 5 Pro performance mode with VRR on the latest update from Cyberpunk and compare it to the Xbox Series X version, and you're seeing that we're getting anywhere from like 15 to 20 frames per second higher. So you cannot rule out the possibility of Grand Theft Auto 6 running at 60 FPS on the PlayStation 5 Pro. Anyways, you guys tell me what you think in the comment section down below. I'll have some more content up later this week. Like I said, I have some electric bike reviews coming up, some really fast super scooter reviews as well. So stay tuned for that. Sub if you haven't already. And like I usually say, please like, share, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one.